Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we're back with the RM125, and as you guys know, we took it on its first drive in last video, and this thing was amazing while it was running, but for some reason it just does not want to start up. It took me about 3 hours to get it started. I took off the carb, checked for spark, brand new spark plug in there, and it just wasn't consistent with its starts. So when we came back, I kind of messed around with it and came to find out that the carburetor just is totally malfunctioning. And yes, this carburetor was rebuilt professionally. It has all new, brand new parts in there, but for some reason, it just still does not want to function. It started leaking fuel out of it before we went to the track. Of course, this thing, runs mint, and then right when I want to actually ride it, it just doesn't. So I'm just totally done with this carburetor. You guys know that we've always had problems with it in the past, so I went ahead and made a little bit of a purchase. And yes, I'm probably gonna wear my sunglasses for most of the video because the sun is just starting to rise, and yeah, it's really bright out. I'm not working in my usual spot because, as you can see, light, dark, the lighting's just awful right now. But guys, here's the new purchase. So I went ahead and bought a brand new carburetor, and this thing is nice. And I can actually hear the floats inside when I move it, so that's good. I probably should have just bought a new carburetor in the first place, but I guess I just wanted to try and use the original OEM carburetor, the Mikuni, but it's just not working, and this one should do the job. I hope it fits because the top is, this one's rounded and the other one's more rectangle, so I hope it fits between the frame and everything. Today we're going to be installing this onto the bike, and the carburetor, what I came down to conclude is that when it starts when the fuel is off and it sits for a little while, but then right when you turn the fuel on, this thing will not start or fire at all. And what I did, as you guys can see, I took a lot of it off already. But what I did is I turned on the fuel, and I was thinking that since the floats are all messed up on it, that fuel was leaking up into the carburetor and, dumping down the cylinder. And that's, I believe, what was happening, because when I took off the airbox yesterday and turned on the fuel, I opened up the throttle and checked, and there was fuel rising up. So that is our problem. So what was happening is that the engine was just getting dumped with fuel and just flooding. So I'm probably gonna do an oil change and everything just in case any fuel leaked down into the cylinder. And when I was at the track, when I took off the spark plug, I kicked it over and there was just fuel flying out. So that is definitely our problem. So I'm hoping that this new carburetor will fix it, and I'm super excited to put it on. But let's get started and get this thing back up and running. This should be nice and simple since I already took off the airbox and we have a lot of room to work with. I'm probably just gonna pull off the gas tank just so we have more room and just make it easier. So now that we got the fuel tank off, we have a whole lot of room to work over here. So what I'm gonna do, take out the old throttle because, new carb has a brand new throttle, which is super nice. Take it off of the reeds and just slide the new one and bolt everything up. So the new carburetor is out, and I took off the cable, which was a little bit confusing because I've never done it on a two-stroke before with this type of throttle setup. I was able to get it, and now it is time for that new carburetor. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna put the carburetor on the airbox first, and I'm doing that so when the carburetor is in the reeds, it's not really hard to get the airbox around the carburetor. That's what I like to usually do just because it's a little bit easier, so you just move it in all at once with everything behind it, if that makes any sense. I don't know, that's just what I like to do, but I'm gonna slide that in there now, tighten it down nice and tight, and then put it onto the dirt bike. Guys, so we have a little bit of a problem. This is what I was talking about before with the carb not being able to fit. I cannot get it into the bike. It can't slide in through the back. Yeah, it won't fit in there. So I'm just gonna try and mess around with it, and hopefully I get it because I want to hear this thing run today. Didn't think of a way to get this carb on, and what I'm gonna do is take off the top mount of the rear shock and then just push it back, and then I think I'll be able to install the carburetor from the back, and it should work. My only fear is if the top part where the throttle goes will fit in this area between the frame and just the boot in general. I'm hoping that'll work. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. And now let's try and put on this carburetor. Alright guys, so I got some pretty bad news. This carburetor just will not fit. I just struggled for an hour trying to get it, but it just won't work. So what I'm gonna do is try and check inside, see if I can swap around some internals and make use of this carburetor while I have it. So I'll see if I can do anything about it, and hopefully I can. I'll catch you guys back when I hopefully find something good. All right, so here's the inside of the old one, and then here's the inside of the new one, which is really, really nice. But when I looked inside the new one, the floats are no longer sticking, which is weird. Usually this side right there, you would like stick a lot. It's going up and down really, really nicely. That is pretty weird. I mean, what I could try and do is just reinstall the carburetor. I mean, I could try that. What I was gonna try and do is swap the today, Junior. Swap the floats. But these things have like these rods coming out between the two, and these don't. So I can't do that. I mean, if it starts leaking again, then I guess I could try and drill 2 holes in these to go around these and try and just make that work. So what I'm gonna do now is just put it back on the bike, the old carburetor, see if it still leaks, and then if it does, I mean, we try and swap out some parts and everything, but we'll just see what happens. So I have the carburetor on the bike right now, and the fuel is on right now, and it's not leaking. So this is kind of annoying, but I guess it's not bad, because now it's not leaking. Maybe just taking off the bowl and putting it back on fixed it. Who knows? So I'm just gonna put it all back together, and hopefully it just doesn't start to decide to leak again. Could have been also, maybe I was thinking maybe the angle of the carburetor, because before it was kind of leaning out this way a little bit, which could have been throwing off the gas a little bit. But I mean, I guess this is a good thing. I'm not really sure how I feel about it not leaking anymore, but I still can return that carburetor, which is good. But I guess I'll just screw everything on, hook up the throttle, put on the airbox, and then yeah, see if it'll start. So I got everything hooked up, and now I just gotta put on the gas tank, and hopefully this thing doesn't decide to randomly leak fuel. Then I'm gonna move it over to the OG work spot, so we got some good lighting over here, and then we could try and start that thing up. Alrighty guys, so here we go. I've had the fuel on for like probably about 3-4 minutes now, and it hasn't leaked at all. So that is good, and now hopefully this thing will fire up. So here we go. Come on.
2,000 years later.
Almost there. Well, it runs, but the airbox fell off. So we'll get that all mounted up, and then we'll try again. Got the airbox on. Alrighty, so let's try this again. Guys, well, it definitely runs way better. Guys, the RM is running really, really good, actually. It might sound weird because the airbox fell off again, as you can see. So I didn't want to run it long, you know, obviously without an air filter on it. It's because I forgot to bolt up the subframe. But other than that, the carb isn't leaking anymore, which is awesome. That was like the main point of trying to fix this thing, and the floats seem to be functioning very good. So I'm pretty happy. Even though I was pretty bummed out before about the whole carburetor issue, I guess just taking it out, messing around with the floats a little bit, and putting it back on may have fixed it. But I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that carburetor and make sure that it doesn't leak anymore. If it does, I mean, I'm still going to try and look for brand new carburetors that actually match this bike. I mean, this guy said that that it does fit RM125s like this, but obviously it doesn't. But I'm pretty happy. All we got to do is make sure that the airbox doesn't fall off anymore, mount up the subframe, and put everything back together, along with some new fork guards that I got for it. So we're gonna put those on. But let's get the bike all put back together and make it look nice and mint. So the airbox is on, and the subframe is all bolted up. So now let's just slap on the plastics, the seat, everything and make this thing look better than how it does right now. There we go, the bike is all back together, running awesome. Non-leaking carburetor. Awesome. Alright guys, so the bike is ready to go. It is running awesome. Starts right up. Carb is not leaking, which is awesome. And actually I think the fuel's still on. Yep, it was. And it wasn't leaking. So that is a win. So I'm really happy. This thing is probably in the best shape it's ever been, even when it was finished. The plastics are all bolted down. Oh wait, we forgot our front number plate and our new fork guards. What am I doing? Those things will be on right now. And there they are. There are the new fork guards. They are really nice and it'll keep our suspension in all good shape, safe from rocks or anything. But anyway guys, I'm gonna be ending the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really happy how the RM turned out at the end of this. It is definitely ready for the track now. So next time when we go, which I'm hoping will be soon, I'm definitely gonna rip it way more and go a lot faster. I also want to do an oil change before I go, but I mean, it has fairly new oil in it, but an oil change will be sometime close in the future for the RM. But anyway, we just hit 14,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. That is absolutely awesome. Some of you guys may know this already, but my end of the year goal for 2018 is 20,000. Can we do it at this rate? I think we might be able to. But anyway, guys, thanks for all the support that you guys gave me. It really keeps me going. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel.